I want to welcome everybody to a creative common. You can think of this like a pond for artists to all come together and share. And this place is called Seker Factory DAO. And as a DAO, we manage this pond together. Our main goal is to highlight artists, to incubate artists into this emerging Web3 music space. And one of the amazing artists we've had the pleasure of working with over the past 2 months is Taro. And so we managed to find this awesome artist about 2 months ago, and we all thought it was a cool artist, so we thought it would be cool to get together and create a night where we're immersed in her art and her community. And as a DAO, we come together to co-curate. We work together to define what culture is, and that works by joining up, becoming a member. So if you're an artist and you want to have your own gallery night, you can join our DAO and we will work with you. We have an awesome team of people that are also members here. Zach, Baud, Andy, Tiffany, Louie. These people are all members that are going to help put together something like this for you. So give yourselves a round of applause, because none of this is possible without a team coming together. And as members, I also built something that's kind of similar to what Bitcoin did in 2009. And we have a token that will be one that you can earn. So we work like a co-op, and everybody will be able to earn the entire value of this system. So every month, you can mine these tokens. You can mine them just by being here. So technically, all of the members here right now are earning tokens like they're miners in the Bitcoin protocol. And so if you want to find out more about that, you can go to sekerfactory.com. There's a link to a light paper that goes into detail. And so we've done a few artists, and this particular one is a pleasure. Taro does a lot of work in the Web3 space. She's worked really hard to build a community. And if you see these cards on these walls and you're wondering what they are, they represent memberships in her community. So she has a Sun card that she dropped to people about, like 2-3 weeks ago. And that represents a membership in her Soul Tribe. And the Soul Tribe is something that is really unique. It's a way for Taro to connect with her fans in a really awesome way, and I think that's what's really cool about Web3. It does open up these communities and connections with artists and their fans. So if you're a Sun card holder, you're a part of our community, and there's also the Star card, and a very special one-of-one Moon card. So if you want to be the most special member of the Soul Tribe, you can find the Moon card, and you probably saw it when you walked in. It's floating around in the front windows, and it's also on the TVs. So if anybody has any questions about this, you find a DAO member, talk to me personally, and we will be happy to chat. So I would like Taro to talk about her community. I'm not going to talk about your community for you. So Taro, please, if you wouldn't mind joining.
Thank you, Nathan. Hey guys, wow, I'm just so grateful for all of you guys in this room being here. I'm so grateful for Nathan, Seker DAO, for having just the opportunity to experiment even further. When I first entered this space not too long ago, I really just wanted to try shit out, you know? I just wanted to see what this whole world was. And now today, standing here, it just feels full circle, being able to connect in real life in a way that we all talk about, but seeing it in fruition is just so special to me because the Soul Tribe, that's what I call my community from day one. When I started releasing music NFTs back in February, I started my music, it was the Tarot Sings Music NFT Marathon. I didn't know anything about crypto, I knew nothing about technology, I just knew how to write songs, and I wanted to connect with others through songs. And this space has allowed me to do that in ways that I never really expected to be possible. I feel seen and heard and connected with people to go beyond just the music, but to connect on a bigger scale, to impact the world through this technology that we have at our hands. And that kind of goes with the whole initiative tonight, which is bringing people together with music, education, with these panels that we're about to just kick off, and NFTs. Like Nathan said, the tarot card NFTs. I airdropped the star card to all of my music NFT collectors as a VIP membership token, and then I opened up the community with the sun card as a free mint, and I want people to be a part of something that they resonate with beyond just the music as well. And then we've got the moon card tonight. It's a one of one, and this auction's super special because all the proceeds are going to be donated to two causes, one being something super close and dear to my heart. I went to Bali not too long ago, and I experienced planting a baby coral in the ocean. I learned so much about how we can actually help our oceans, help our environment, save our planet. And I think as an artist, a lot of what I do, all of what I do, comes down to my why of why do I release music? Why am I releasing music NFTs? What is this all about? It's to connect and make a greater impact through what we're doing. So tonight, that one cause, right? Like we'll plant a little garden of baby coral in honor of the Soul Tribe, but also bringing together my community to vote on an initiative. So semi-DAO-like, right? It's experiments, but voting on something that we're all passionate about and can contribute together, with music being the catalyst. And so I'm really excited to have TK here performing. We've got, yes, give it up for TK. We love TK. And TK has he's so aligned on those same missions as well, and that's so important to me, to be surrounded by people that I'm inspired by, and we can all uplift each other and do something that is exciting and new and fun, releasing music should be fun, and there could be a new way to do that. We don't have to follow a traditional model to be successful. I find success in the individual relationships that I'm building with each collector who resonates with the music, and then we work together to do something even crazier. And I'm like, wow, where has this been my whole life? So I'm really excited. We've got Eric Spivak DJing as well, who's a legend in the space. I'm so inspired by everything that he has done in his career in Web3 and beyond. And so it's just, I'm beaming with so much gratitude. I'll be performing too, by the way. But playing some songs. So yeah, just bringing people together and educating the community too, from some extremely smart, innovative people in the music industry, in Web3, building tools, building communities. So I'm really excited to kick it off with our first panel. I'll be moderating. I'll introduce our guests here in a second, but I just want to say thank you to everybody here. Get some drinks, eat some pizza, network, hang out. That's what it's all about. And, GM Music NFTs. We'll close it out there. Let's go. Awesome. All right, well, I get my beautiful panelists up here. I'm should I name them off one by one? Awesome. All right, so we've got Pinder repping Venice Music. Let's go. And we also got Donovan out here too. Oh, we might need one more chair. Do we have one more chair? All right, guys, come on over. Yes, of course. Yes, come on in, guys. You don't want to miss it. All right. We've got Sammy, SDR in the house. Oh. Let's go. Hi. Hey, hey. Yeah, pop a squat, guys. Let's get cozy. Oh. All right. So, welcome, our beautiful panelists. We've got SDR, Sammy Del Real. Oh my gosh, guys, this guy is like the most positive go-getter out there. He is doing amazing things with Doing Good, Navak, and so much more. We've got Adrian Stern at Reveal. Reveal, let's go. I'm personally biased because I work with Reveal and I love everything about it. We'll get into all that. And then we've got Donovan, we've got Pinder from Venice Music. Let's go. And then, of course, we've got the legend David Greenstein from Sound XYZ here. Let's go. So yeah, I guess we'll just kind of kick it off. You guys are such focal points in the space, thought leaders that are doing some really cool things when it comes to building for artists in the community. I would love to just pass the mic around and hear a little bit, share with the audience a little bit of your background and what brought you to building in Web3, specifically in music.
Well, hi guys. Good to see you all. Thanks for being here. Honestly, it was the last thing that I thought I would be doing was in my time in crypto, which started in late 2016. The last thing I thought I would be doing was music. Somehow in my world, it came to be the case. I've been doing music all my life. That's my background. I've been playing drums since I was 2 years old. I was signed to Atlantic Records, did the whole thing for a while. And in 2016, I started doing crypto. And how I did this was I started it with a large-scale solar farm. I built a large-scale solar farm here in California, 20 megawatts on 50 acres of land, to be able to mine Bitcoin utilizing only renewable energies. I spent 3 years of my time traveling around the world, speaking at conferences about how the narrative that is often spoken about with crypto and Web3, for that matter, is not necessarily, could be looked at differently. And in my opinion, it was an opportunity to showcase, by leading by example, what can be done utilizing renewable energies with this energy-intensive mechanism that was built 13 years ago with Bitcoin. And so I'll get to the music part a little bit later, and I'll keep on going down the road.
Thanks. Yeah, I left the music industry in 2013 after about a decade in it, and didn't think I would come back until I discovered blockchain. And I thought that technology was really interesting and could potentially solve some of the issues that I had gone through as a musician, notably like having to wait 18 to 24 months to be paid out your publishing royalties, which I thought was absurd. And so when blockchain became a thing, I thought it could impact the digital supply chain, and that's how I initially got interested in that. In 2018, started a first music blockchain startup called Mediarite that failed pretty miserably, but I learned a lot. And now we're building Reveal, of which Taro Jordan's a part of, helping Web3 creators get paid more efficiently and more transparently by automating revenue share on the blockchain.
Cool, what's that? Oh, nice. Cool, what's happening? It's a hot mic, yeah. What's up, everybody? So a bit about me. Grew up, my dad was in the military as a kid, so grew up just traveling the world and really just kind of fell in love with music growing up at a young age. And went to college at Michigan State, studied communication, and then after college, went to work at Ford Motor Company in Colorado and started really not feeling like my work life and was like really missing the soul of like my work. And I was like, you know what, I gotta work in the music industry. So I started DJing, DJ'd and got really good at DJing in Colorado, and that led me to pretty much working my first job at a company called EDM.com. Worked there for about 6 months, working with a bunch of different artists, electronic artists, helping them build and like curating music. and that led me to management and started managing artists. Lived out in the UK for a year, just traveling around, working with producers, and built a recording studio in London, and moved to LA in 2017, working in music tech, worked on a platform called Rise, which was all about bringing artists together and, through call outs, the call out technology. And while doing that, I was working on independent artists, doing management, and after a few years of being in LA, was like, I'm ready to work for a real company, a tech company, and then started looking for work in 2021 and started working at Venice Music, where I'm at now as a senior community manager, and started to find the Web3 space very fascinating and started investing in Ethereum and saw what was happening with artists being able to, be more independent in the Web3 space. So at Venice Music, I'm now the senior community manager where I do a lot of events, doing a lot of different, activations in the Web3 community, building relationships with a lot of the people here, and, also just really empowering independence with the membership that we've created. So, that's what I'm doing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll add to Donovan's story. Donovan's largely responsible for building out the entire community that is Venice. So always want to give him his flowers. He's an amazing human and community builder. Shout out to my brother. My name's Justin Pender. I'm an artist at my foundation. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I moved to LA about 10 years ago to pursue my dream of working for Dr. Dre. And that happened, but I've long been focused on how technology affects the independent artist ecosystem, from MySpace launching and digital marketing becoming a thing, to streaming, to now Web3. I'm the director of Web3 strategy and partnerships at Venice Music currently. I've spent many years managing artists. I manage an artist named Javon, who's multidisciplinary animation producer, rapper. He's the artist behind a PFP project called Loser Club. Where is he? He's here somewhere. So if you're a loser, find him. So I just try to help the artists in the Venice Music ecosystem navigate new technologies, plan for releases, and incorporate Web3 if it makes sense for them, and connect dots with cool people like Sammy and Adrian and Taro and my man David over here.
I just want to give Pinder his flowers too, because it's hard to find people in the music industry, the more traditional side, that are forward-thinking and open-minded to trying things, and I think Pinder's at the top of that list. So, my name's David. I co-founded Sound.xyz, and basically my story is I kind of got lucky and started working at Atlantic Records when I was like 13 years old, because Craig Kalman, he still runs it to this day, went to my high school, came to speak. I was like, that sounds pretty interesting. Let me see if I can get a job there. And he was dumb enough to let me start working there before I was probably should have been allowed to work there. And so I just kind of grew up talking to artists and talking to managers and understanding the problems that exist in the music industry. It was very, very early around this time that I probably wasn't going to become an artist myself. And so I was always looking for where the music industry was headed. And I think the same problems I always talk about every single time are how do you help artists reach the most amount of people with their music, and how do you help artists make money on their music? Those are really the two problems. And one of the things that I find most interesting is other forms of talent. I always use sports as an example. I'm a huge basketball fan. I genuinely think the best basketball players are in the NBA. But with artists and a lot of the creative fields, the process for talent discovery has largely remained unchanged. And therefore, there's actually talented artists that are not yet discovered. And I think the goal of obviously Sound is, can we help identify and surface the best, talent to the top, and also get artists paid and valued for their music in a fast, transparent, and accurate, manner. So.
Let's go. Give it up for this incredible group of guys. Oh my gosh. So crazy. No, but seriously, we've got a diverse panel up here, but it all very much funnels under a similar goal, a similar ethos of helping the artist, helping the creator, and you guys all are artists in your own forms as well, which is just adding to that sparkle to what Web3 has, given to a lot of artists and has inspired builders. You guys are builders. You're building infrastructures, you're building tools, and I would love to touch on, the scary word the bear market, right? Like, how do you build in a bear market? What are the challenges? What are the advantages to building in a bear market, specifically for each of your projects that you guys are working on? Anyone can take it off.
I guess I'll go first. For the music space in Web3, it feels more steady than some of the sentiment and the energy around Web3 as it relates to art and PFPs. David can attest to this. People are collecting music NFTs every day, all day, and it's a beautiful time for artists to experiment and jump into the space. For Venice specifically, I think the market sentiment affects affects artist readiness. A lot of artists hear, people talking about how crypto's down or, how the Web3 space is complicated, and, it makes it difficult for them to have the enthusiasm that they may need to jump in. But like I was just saying, music NFTs are booming right now, so it's really the best time to come in and start experimenting and connecting dots and finding collectors and other collaborators. And yeah, so if there's any artists in the crowd that are hesitant because of the bear market, it's really an opportunity to build from the ground up while things are cheap.
So, being in this space in general is complicated for anybody, including anybody that's been in it for as long as it's been around. What's beautiful about it is the opportunity to expand, the opportunity to go outside the box. We often put ourselves in boxes, myself included, every day. And I think that what this has enabled so much is a level of creativity of what it was like when we were kids, when we could wonder and fly and have imaginary friends or build crazy buildings, with our minds. And it was simply because we felt it, we wanted it. And in this space, during this moment right now where we're at 2022, November, where everything is kind of crazy, the whole entire market in general is not what people expected it to be. But at the same time, it's showcasing a tremendous amount of light because of the tech. The tech works. Bitcoin's doing what Bitcoin does. Ethereum's doing what Ethereum does. NFTs are doing what NFTs do. It's not stopped. It hasn't had a hiccup. But what's happened is that it's enabling a level of people to come together and actually have this community that we're all here for something. We're here to learn from each other. We're here to be able to experience something that we're curious about. And in music right now, we've realized that music has an opportunity to stop being so stale. It's very passive and very fleeting today. With the amazing technology that we have, which is the internet, we get to connect with people. We get to see humans in other places around the world that we would have never even dreamt of or even heard. But at the same time, it's not, you're not connecting. You're not actually, Adrian made a song and I want to be, I want to follow this guy. I want to know about, I want to know about it. I want to be immersed. And so I think with Web3 in general and in this moment, there's an opportunity to be able to build and expand outside of what it is to do TikToks, Spotify, YouTube, and do something more. Get creative. Let people be a part of the world that you're building. Let people feel the music in a different light. So that's kind of what right now in the bear market it feels like, is you can experiment, you can be and do whatever it is that you want to do in hopes that, you do build a culture first, and that community then comes after the culture that you've built.
Yeah, I think there's short-term pain that goes with the bear market that touches on what Pinder was saying, which is the notion of crypto feels like kind of a dark, shady thing you don't want to touch right now. But there are long-term gains to what's happening, which I think are that it's going to flush out a lot of the speculative behavior, and that's going to leave space to projects that are building real value, right? What David is building at Sound creates real value for artists and the fans, and so that's thriving despite the bear market. And what we're building at Reveal similarly. And so I think that's the opportunity that comes with these types of harder times.
And then for me, just like from a community perspective, I've always been a person when like things get tough, I always think about how to like I elevate everyone around me. So as soon as the bear market kind of hit in, I was like, who are the people that we were building with when things were good, that were kind of building their own thing, but also like were also in tandem building with us. And I was like, let's all come together because we're all in this like space, and the space is only gonna thrive if we come together and build together. So my goal was, how do I bring different partners in? And we launched our membership, and we had founding communities. So when we did the VMC, we had Sound, we had Glass XYZ, we had a lot of different partners, Reveal, and we came together with that. But I was like, let's actually do activations together. So I reached out to a homie that was working at Roland, and Roland was looking to come into Web3, and I was like, let's do a competition together. Let's do a song competition where we have artists in all these different music communities like Warps, Sound, Mint Songs, all these different platforms, Catalog, reaching out to these platforms and being like, let's do something together. And we ended up doing a competition where all these different artists started creating like records using the 808 drum. And that was really cool because then we were able to actually give money to these artists every week who were winning. So it was like, even though the bear market was hitting hard, people were still excited about creating, and every week we would have listening sessions, and that actually built a buzz. And then Roland ended up building their own NFT and building their community, and then it just continued to grow from there. But not only that, it also helped a lot of artists like get like big, like more connected like in other communities. So the real goal is like, when you're in a bear market, you have to figure out how do you elevate everyone, because the space is like all reflective of like the efforts we're all collectively putting in. So the goal for me was like, let's work together and like create a new paradigm in like this time and innovation.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I always say is like you can't rug good music because regardless of the market, like I don't think artists think about bear and bull markets. They're making music, period. And so as long as the music's good and there's a space to be able to like put it out, and artists want to experiment in this way, then they're like the music is going to keep getting released, and that's just on par with just how the whole music industry is. So I think in that regards, it's kind of indifferent. And then another thing is just like if we were building things before, we're still building them after. So I think nothing's really changed so far.
Right? Yes. Music NFTs are thriving. They're alive because it's music, Like David, you're so right. If Web3 were to disappear tomorrow, like not just going to stop being an artist. Like I was an artist before I came into this space, and that will continue to be. But because we're in this space, there's this potential and opportunity to expand it and pave that path, I think. As artists, and then as builders yourselves who are supporting those artists with these the infrastructure, like Sound XYZ being able to be that bright light at the end of the tunnel for artists who have been grinding at their craft for years and not seeing any physical, tangible rewards, but still doing it because that's what they love to do, and you can't deny good music. And so seeing how Web3 has really given an opportunity for the creator to thrive in a bear market is really interesting because, I can't predict where we're gonna be next year. I don't know where we'll be in 10 years. The question of mass adoption, how does that come about? That's so, no one's an expert, but I am curious. What do you guys see being a solution, or at least the building blocks to get to that mass adoption? Do we see Web3 being the alternative, or do we see that being supplemental to an artist's career? Or do we see, eventually people transforming completely to the blockchain and dismissing these beliefs that we've been following for years before?
I have strong feelings.
Yeah.
Strong feelings. First, I think to touch on scale, one of the things that's happening in Web3 since the beginning of time is we've put the technology before the art. In order to reach scale, you kind of have to like be attractive I don't know how many people in this room are like coders or anything like that, but generally, like, that's an unattractive language for the average person. So in Web3, we have a lot of lingo that we use that is complicated and overly complicated. And then we also like really emphasize the tech a little bit too much. So when it comes to scaling and reaching mass audiences, it has to be driven by the art and the artist and the human. I think at its core, you know, Web3 is the perfect concept for making independent artists or niche concepts sustainable. That's what the technology represents in my mind. You know, artists like me or like potentially like you, like, I don't care about millions of people listening to my music. I care about the music being effective for the people that are listening. And if they want to pay for that, great, I'll take your money. So the opportunity for me to just focus, you know, on 100 people or 1,000 people and return my investment in my energy that I'm putting into it and then just get me to the next thing, I find that super fascinating. But yeah, I can kind of go on about this for hours, but I want to make space for everybody else.
Yeah, I'll try to be quick on this one. I think part of the answer was in your question. You were an artist before Web3. You're going to be an artist after Web3. Fans were fans before Web3, and they're going to be fans after Web3. And so it's really about, you know, for reaching scale, it's going to be about how do we obfuscate the technology. Because right now, if you look at, you know, not to get too technical, but if you look at an adoption S-curve, we're at the very beginning. The music NFT community is, you know, a couple dozens of thousands of people, but it's tiny. And we're all early adopters, and we've been driven to this because we find the tech super cool. But for the vast majority of people who are going to be entering the space, it's not going to be about the tech. And so we need to, you know, allow the capabilities of the technology to be used in a way where you don't feel like it's an extra effort. And I think that's what, you know, a lot of companies are trying to build right now. But that's what it's going to take, because we can't make it about the tech. It's got to be about the art and the, you know, interaction between artist and collector.
Sorry, I have one more thing to say. No, I want to, I'm giving everybody flowers today, but I want to give David his flowers and Sound their flowers, because at the end of the day, I think we're all looking for a new experience in new fields around music. Like, music has been stale as shit. And working in the music business for 15 years, like, I was tired of it until Web3 came, and it starts to feel new again. You're meeting people with new energy, and companies like Sound are curating new experiences around being a fan and being an artist, and it's that experience that is going to scale and you know, attract. So, flowers.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to think of another one for you now. Yeah, I mean, I agree with, obviously, like, you have to scale the experience and get it in the hands of like every artist. And I think I've been pretty clear about this from the beginning with Sound, which is like I never had much intention of like doing it curated forever. It was mainly a way to get things off the ground, and there were like deliberate reasons why we chose not to, with, you know, the legal concerns to start, and then two, it was just like, you know, figuring out ways that like every artist could find, you know, eyes for their songs or ears. And so we wanted to make sure that we built like a lot of discovery mechanisms in place, which are, you know, we've been working on. So those are probably two things. And then I think the other one is like the onboarding is pretty important. And I think it's still way too much friction to like create a wallet and fund it if you're going the more crypto native route, or you have to, you know, you can create these like more temporary wallets with like emails, but then you lose some of the, like the Web3 ideals of, you know, owning your own private keys and a lot of things like that. So I think the onboarding is still like very infant in its stage, and I think that's something that I think, you know, needs to get solved as well.
And to just kind of complement everything that everybody's been saying here, I mean, it's not a zero-sum game. I think that it's a tool, and as David said, you know, you can't rug good music. The music is the product, and if you're making incredible music, that will win. Now, how you get to the masses could be Web3, could be utilizing DSPs, it could be TikTok, it could be any of these mechanisms or any of these vehicles for you to get there. But I think that where Web3 becomes interesting is, as what Adrian was alluding to with the royalties, like artists aren't making money. I mean, if you're getting paid 0.005 cents a stream, you need to make, you have to have 1 million streams to maybe get a $5,000 check if you own all those masters. That's not very lucrative for an artist, no matter who you are. So now there's an opportunity for you to build from the ground up, as everybody's kind of talked about, build a community, but maybe building that community doesn't mean selling something right away. Maybe it's just literally just inviting them into your world and then getting them to a place where that culture that they've resonated with was something where you could be like, okay, cool, let me try selling something on Sound XYZ and doing something like what you did with Manifold, and you did it all on your own. But these are just tools, and I think that as everybody's kind of said, it's the music first, the art comes first. These are just vehicles for artists to be able to utilize.
Straight up, guys. This is amazing. I just want to thank you all for being here. I know you guys are busy guys, changing the world every single day. Seriously, though, these guys are changing the world. I know, it's heavy phrase, but but seriously, I'm very blessed and honored to learn from you guys and be in your presence because, we're building together at the end of the day. We don't necessarily know what the technology holds for the future mass adoption, but we do know and we do resonate on that one core goal that music cannot be rugged. I love that. But music is music, and that's something that, I'm super passionate about in this space. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for music. I definitely agree with you on it being a vehicle. It could be anything. It's just like the start of YouTube or the start of TikTok. Those creators who were first are usually pretty successful. So it's like if you're an artist out there who's skeptical on where to start, there's a blank canvas for you to create anything you want. You can create a world. You can just put out songs and see who fucks with it. Honestly, at the end of the day, that's really all it takes. And I guess we'll close it out because we got another panel and then we got a couple performances. But I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for coming here. And thank you all for hanging out. Give it up. It's like a live Twitter space. Right? All right. Thanks, guys.